War of words after ANC and EFF political tough war surfaces in Limpopo. Just a week before the May 29th elections, tensions escalated in Juju Valley township near Polokwane, Limpopo, reigniting a long-standing political feud. Videos circulating on social media depicted armed groups engaged in a violent confrontation during door-to-door election campaigning on Sunday. The two groups exchanged fire while some were seen throwing stones at each other during an election door-to-door campaign. In what was seen as political intolerance, one group wearing ANC t-shirts, the other clad in EFF regalia, were involved in a tough war that resulted in a 9-year-old girl fighting for her life in hospital after sustaining gunshot wounds, while 11 more were injured after being caught in the crossfire. Limpopo police confirmed that they were investigating cases of attempted murder following the violence. The violence erupted during a campaign event between rival political parties, leading to an escalation that endangered the life of an innocent 9-year-old bystander, said Brigadier Sulani Mashaba, Limpopo police spokesperson. The police and emergency medical services responded swiftly to the scene, providing immediate assistance to the minor girl and commencing a thorough investigation into the matter. Another case was later reported after it was established that a 25-year-old man was shot during the scuffle. Juju Valley, mostly occupied by EFF supporters, is named after the party's president Julius Malema, who several years ago encouraged his members to grab the land and build shacks. According to a witness, the trouble started after the ANC kicked off its door-to-door campaign in the area. The Star understands tension flared after former EFF chairperson in the province, Josie Butane, left the Red Berets and joined the ANC following a fallout with Malema. Butane claimed scores of EFF supporters crossed with him to the ANC. These former EFF members were among those who were attacked. In a statement released yesterday afternoon after a media briefing, the ANC pointed a finger at the EFF, calling them EFF criminals and saying the attack was pre-planned because they had hired contract killers. Its provincial secretary, Ruben Madadze, said EFF supporters mobilized a group of their members and criminals who were armed with guns and live ammunition with the intention of preventing and disrupting the ANC elections campaign. These armed members and criminals attacked the ANC volunteers led by the regional leadership of the ANC in Peter Mokaba, resulting in 12 people sustaining injuries from gunshots and sharp objects. In the history of this democracy, even at the height of political tensions in the period after 1994, it is unheard of for any political formation to employ Ngabis, contract killers, and gangsters to shoot at members of another organization while doing political work. Madadze called on the Electoral Commission of SAIEC to take the action against the AFF for the party's role in inciting violence and disrupting the democratic process. However, the EFF in the province said the violence was between ANC leaders and residents of the area. Its provincial convener and former party secretary general, Godrich Gardi, called on law enforcement and the IEC to investigate the murder. Garde called on his party members not to fall into the trap of provocation and threatens to disrupt the elections. Battered and bruised ANC members Matome Moropana and Godfrey Mothamonyane told the Star that they want justice after they were physically attacked and assaulted. After the campaign, I was walking with two party members when all of a sudden a Toyota Quantum pulled over next to us. A number of men wearing EFF t-shirts came out and started throwing bricks at us. One landed on my spinal cord and I fell down. The other comrade managed to run and the other one was assaulted with fists on the face and head. Those two are outsiders. They are not from our township, said Moropana. Mothamonyane said this was not his first time being attacked for being an ANC member. I have identified one man who was also the scuffle between the two political parties which ensued. He was part of the men who attacked us who were traveling in a taxi. We are preparing ourselves to go and open a case with the police, said Mothamonyane. He said after the attack, they were to Sesheho Hospital for medical treatment. Returning from the hospital, I was shocked to find my car and shack vandalized. I could not sleep at my place because I was afraid the attackers would return. I slept at Moropana's home, he said. Both men said they were going to open a criminal case against their attackers. Meanwhile, EFF claims IFP senior leaders are planning a political assassination on Secretary General Marshal Dlamini. The party says it will not take reports lightly. Joburg, the EFF has alleged that senior leaders of the IFP are planning a political assassination of their party's Secretary General Marshal Dlamini. The EFF said it received a briefing from SAPS intelligence a few days ago. KwaZulu-Natal has been known in the past of bloodbaths due to political killings. This has alarmed the EFF, which said it received this intelligence report unprovoked and without approaching police. EFF national spokesperson Sinawo Tambo said the reliable intelligence reports illustrate that senior leaders of the IFP believe that Dlamini is responsible for the collective decision they took to initiate and support motions of no confidence against IFP mayors in several municipalities in KZN. The EFF condemns with contempt the plots to assassinate our Secretary General or any leader for selfish and narrow political purposes. We do not take these reports lightly because the province of KZN has been defined by many political assassinations for a very long time, a habit which the EFF has never been associated with and has condemned since our formation 10 years ago, Tambo said. He added, when IFP members currently stubbornly and physically disrupted meetings of the EFF in different parts of KZN in 2014, the leadership of the EFF organized a meeting with the leadership of the IFP under its former president chief Mangosuthu Buthelezi and should never be an instrument of political persuasion. Tambo said at the 2016 local government elections, it was primarily the EFF that played a leading role in ensuring that the IFP participated in the government of the city of Joburg. Tambo said after the 2021 local government elections, the EFF played a central role in voting against the ANC and establishing IFP-led governments in several municipalities in KZN. When we decided to actively participate in government, we convened cordial meetings with the leaderships of the IFP and communicated our decision. We respect the IFP's decision to not support the establishment of EFF governments in different municipalities in KZN, hence our logical and rational decision to vote out IFP governments wherever we previously voted for them, he said. Tambo said the EFF was strongly opposed to the use of violence and assassinations as a method to settle political differences. We as the EFF will do everything in our power and within our capacity to protect Dlamini against agent provocateurs and agents of apartheid who only thrive through violence or threats of violence, Tambo said. The party called on law enforcement agencies to thoroughly investigate those behind the plot and arrest them with immediate effect. Tambo said the SAPS must not care who is behind the assassination plots and act decisively regardless of the seniority of the plotters. We call on the IFP, its leaders and its members to desist from using violence and a mechanism of settling political differences. South Africa is entering an age where political parties will from time to time disagree on how governments are constituted at local, provincial, and national levels, and violence cannot and should not be used as a weapon for narrow and selfish political purposes, Tambo said. IFP President Velekosini Thabisa dismissed the allegations made by the EFF, saying they were going to release a detailed statement in response. Thabisa believes if the police are called and it is rumored that there are people planning to kill their members, they will ask the police to make arrests rather than run to the public. The IFP is not desperate. We are not going to kill anyone. The EFF is not a factor. We are in government in 29 municipalities, Thabisa said. He said the EFF wanted to bully his party when it was in control of many municipalities in KZN. The EFF made a blunder by wanting to take over Umhladuze municipality. We are going to write a letter to the police and urge them to immediately arrest those who they say want to kill Dlamini. If the allegation of the assassination is true, why are the police not making arrests? This must be made public as the EFF went public, Thabisa said. KZN police were not available to comment at this stage. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.